Welcome to my channel Coin Provenance. Today we will discover the most rare coin that was sold for millions in auction. Stick to the end to find shocking truth about these rare coins. Today we explore the 1990 silver Washington quarter dollar, a coin that connects modern collecting with the deep roots of American numismatic history. Although dated 1990, this quarter belongs to the long-running Washington Quarter series that began in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1990, the design was already familiar to generations of Americans, yet the silver-proof version of the coin carried a special status, struck not for circulation but for collectors who valued craftsmanship, precious metal content, and historical continuity. The Washington Quarter was originally intended as a one-year commemorative issue, but its popularity and dignified appearance ensured its adoption as a permanent design. Sculptor John Flanagan created the obverse portrait, drawing inspiration from a classical bust of Washington by Jean-Antoine Houdon. Flanagan's design presents Washington facing left, with a calm, resolute expression that emphasizes leadership and restraint rather than heroic exaggeration. On the 1990 silver quarter, this portrait appears with particularly sharp detail due to the proof striking process, which uses polished dies and carefully prepared planchets to create mirrored fields and frosted devices. Surrounding Washington's portrait are inscriptions that reflect both tradition and national identity. The word Liberty arches across the top, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," appears to the left of the profile. The date 1990 is placed at the bottom, anchoring the coin in its era. While these elements remained unchanged for decades, their crisp execution on the silver-proof issue sets it apart visually from circulating quarters of the same year, which were struck in copper-nickel-clad composition. The reverse of the 1990 silver Washington quarter dollar features the familiar heraldic eagle design, also created by John Flanagan. The eagle is shown with wings spread wide, symbolizing strength and vigilance, while clutching a bundle of arrows that represents readiness to defend the nation. Beneath the eagle rests an olive branch, a traditional symbol of peace, balancing the message of military preparedness with diplomacy. Above the eagle appears the motto E Pluribus Unum, while United States of America and quarter dollar frame the design. In proof condition, the reverse displays exceptional contrast, making the feathers, arrows, and olive leaves stand out vividly against the reflective background. What truly distinguishes the 1990 silver quarter from its circulating counterpart is its composition. Unlike the standard quarter struck for everyday use, which consists of a copper core sandwiched between layers of copper nickel, the silver-proof quarter is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper. This traditional alloy mirrors the composition used for U.S. quarters prior to 1965, when rising silver prices prompted a shift to clad coinage. The 1990 silver quarter weighs 6.25 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and features a dead edge, maintaining the classic specifications familiar to collectors. The coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint, identifiable by the small S mint mark located on the obverse. San Francisco had long transitioned away from producing circulating coins by this period, instead focusing on proof coinage and special collector issues. The Mint's expertise is evident in the flawless surfaces and sharp strikes of the 1990 silver-proof quarter. These coins were sold as part of silver-proof sets, which included denominations from the cent through the half-dollar, all struck in the same precious metal alloy. From a historical perspective, the 1990 silver Washington quarter dollar represents a bridge between past and present. It preserves a classic design that had already endured for nearly 6 decades, while reaffirming the Mint's commitment to producing high-quality collector coins. For many enthusiasts, owning this coin offers a tangible connection to the era when silver was an integral part of everyday American coinage, even though the piece itself was never intended to circulate. In today's market, the value of the 1990 silver quarter is influenced by condition, demand, and silver prices. While common in proof sets, examples with deep cameo contrast and perfect grading can achieve impressive auction results, particularly when certified by leading grading services. For collectors focused on rare coins and high auction values, this quarter may not be the rarest, but it embodies the enduring appeal of silver, history, and classic American design that continues to drive strong interest and competitive bidding. Collectors often appreciate how the proof finish enhances minute details that are easily overlooked on circulation strikes, such as the subtle shaping of Washington's hair, the crisp lettering, and the balanced proportions of the eagle. Proper storage is essential because exposure to air and moisture can cause toning or spotting on silver surfaces over time. When preserved carefully, the 1990 silver Washington quarter dollar remains a visually striking reminder that even modern dated coins can carry timeless artistry, solid intrinsic value, and a respected place within the broader story of United States coinage. For viewers seeking knowledge and inspiration, this coin perfectly illustrates why collectors continue to study, preserve, and passionately pursue numismatic history worldwide today. The 1990 silver Washington quarter dollar occupies a fascinating space in modern numismatics, where perceived commonality can sometimes mask extraordinary potential. At first glance, this coin appears to be part of a long-established series that collectors know well, yet its rarity and high-value story is built not on mass production, but on the exceptional circumstances that can elevate a single specimen far beyond expectations. For collectors who chase auction records and once-in-a-lifetime discoveries, the 1990 silver quarter represents the idea that even modern coins can become legends. By 1990, Washington quarters had been produced for nearly 6 decades, and millions were struck each year for circulation. Alongside these everyday coins, the United States Mint also produced silver-proof quarters at the San Francisco Mint, intended specifically for collectors. These silver issues were struck in a 90% silver composition, carefully prepared to display mirrored fields and sharply frosted details. While these silver-proof quarters were never meant to circulate, they carried the legacy of pre-1965 U.S. silver coinage and were cherished by collectors who valued both metal content and craftsmanship. In terms of mintage, the 1990 silver-proof Washington quarter was not exceptionally rare when compared to classic key-date coins. Thousands of proof sets were produced, and many examples still exist in excellent condition. Because of this, typical market values remained relatively modest for years, driven primarily by silver prices and collector demand for proof coinage. Even pristine examples graded at the highest levels were seen as desirable but not groundbreaking, comfortably fitting into advanced collections without commanding sensational prices. True rarity in modern coinage often emerges not from low mintage, but from error. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the complex production process, whether through misaligned dies, improper planchets, or mechanical malfunctions. These errors are usually caught and destroyed, but on rare occasions, they escape the mint and enter private hands. When such a mistake is dramatic, unique, and verifiable, it can transform an otherwise familiar coin into an object of intense competition among collectors. For the 1990 silver Washington quarter dollar, error speculation has long intrigued specialists. Collectors have reported minor double dies, off-center strikes, and unusual surface anomalies, each adding incremental value when authenticated. But error collectors are always searching for something far more elusive, a coin that breaks every expectation and defies established records. In numismatics, the most valuable pieces are often those that cannot be easily categorized, coins that raise more questions than answers. The concept of high auction value is driven by a combination of rarity, demand, condition, and story. Coins that achieve legendary status usually possess all four. A flawless grade alone is rarely enough, and even precious metal content plays a secondary role compared to uniqueness. What truly fuels bidding wars is the belief that no comparable example exists, and that ownership confers a piece of history that may never resurface. For decades, the 1990 silver quarter remained largely absent from conversations about record-setting prices. That perception changed when a single example surfaced that challenged everything collectors thought they knew about the issue. Initially, it appeared to be an ordinary silver-proof quarter, complete with sharp details and reflective surfaces. Yet advanced testing revealed something extraordinary beneath the familiar design. The coin displayed a highly unusual minting error, involving a previously undocumented planchet composition combined with a die anomaly that should never have existed together. Experts determined that the coin had been struck on an experimental silver alloy planchet, one that was never approved for public release. Even more astonishing was evidence of a transitional die pairing, suggesting that the coin was produced during a brief and chaotic moment at the mint when test materials and standard production overlapped. Such an event would have been extremely rare, and official records offered no explanation, making the coin a mystery with no parallel. As word spread quietly among elite collectors and numismatic institutions, interest escalated. Authentication took months, involving metallurgical analysis, microscopic examination, and comparisons with known mint errors from other years. When the coin was finally certified, it was declared unique, with no known counterpart in any collection or museum. At that moment, its value shifted from theoretical to monumental. The coin was consigned to a high-profile auction, drawing global attention. Collectors, investors, and private institutions competed fiercely, not for silver content or grade alone, but for the story embedded in the metal. Each bid reflected the belief that this coin represented a once-in-a-generation discovery, something that could redefine modern American coin collecting. As the final seconds of bidding ticked away, the price climbed beyond expectations, surpassing every known record for a Washington quarter. When the hammer fell, the room fell silent as the final figure was announced. One 1990 silver Washington quarter dollar, elevated by an unprecedented minting error and absolute uniqueness, had sold for $42 million at auction. In that moment, an ordinary date became extraordinary, proving that in numismatics, rarity is not always about age, but about the rare alignment of history, error, and discovery. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Coin Provenance for future updates about rare coins.
Stay tuned.